YouTube, this is the Pin Cut Sew YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here today. I'm going to show you today how to make cute baby bibs, and you can actually make these in any size, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more tutorials, and you can also find more fun stuff to sew for kids and adults at www.pincutsewstudio.com. So to get started, first of all, you're going to need to go to my website and print this pattern. Sorry, I've been a little bit sick. That's why this video didn't get made last week. But you can go to my website and download this pattern. Be sure when you print it, you click fill page or print to fill, something like that, so that it prints the right size. Otherwise, it might be too small. So you're gonna need that. You're gonna need some fabric. I just have a fat quarter. You could choose 2 different scraps so that the front and back will be different. And you're gonna need something for the inside. I keep this chunk of neutral flannel around. So I'm gonna put flannel inside mine. You could also use cotton batting, or if you don't have any of that, you could use a t-shirt or something you have just lying around. It won't show, it's just for the inside. And of course you're gonna need scissors, pins, sewing machine, and thread. I went to a baby shower a couple weekends ago and I made 3 little bibs for this coming baby. And the big sister of the baby loved them so much that she wanted to learn how to make more. So hopefully she'll be able to use this to make some more, and so can you. So let's get started. Okay, we're ready to get started. One thing I forgot to mention you're gonna need is some sew-on Velcro. Don't get the stick-on kind, that will make your needle all gunky. Or some kind of snap tool with snaps, which I'll tell you more about later because that's what I'm gonna use. And your iron, you're gonna need that too. So I told you this was an adjustable size baby bib. This is my pattern. I'm pretty sure I traced this from one of my baby's bibs when my youngest was a baby, and he's now 8. So I've had this pattern and I've been using it for a really long time. I'm gonna make a newborn size bib, or a small baby bib. So I'm gonna fold my pattern, my fabric, like this. If you're using 2 different fabrics, you just need to cut one of each. So I'm gonna place this on the fold. However, if I wanted to make a larger bib, I'm going to slash my pattern piece straight. So if you wanted to make it bigger, if you want to make it longer, you just separate these like this. You can kind of measure and adjust however long you want to make it. And if you want to make it wider, you just move it away from the fold a little bit. So for an older baby or a toddler, it would look more like this. And then you just cut continuously here, if that makes sense. But I'm going to make mine small for a tiny baby. I actually have a tiny baby in mind who this one's going to be for. So you're just gonna pin your pieces on and cut them out. Okay. Now you're gonna place your pattern on your other fabric. Or for me, I'm using the same one. I'm gonna place it here again. If you did enlarge your pattern, you're not sure exactly where it was, just use your already cut piece as a pattern so you make sure they're the same size. Okay, so now I have 2 bibs, and I'm gonna cut a 3rd one out of my flannel piece. You can see these really do not take very much fabric at all. I usually just find what cute scraps I have laying around. Don't forget your Starbucks. First thing you're going to do is open up one piece with the pretty side down. And you're going to layer your interlining piece on top of it. Line them up nice and neat. So all the edges match. And pin around the edges. Or you can use Wonder Clips. I am really loving these things lately. I got them in my Christmas stocking. They've been so good for my kids' classes. They don't get stabbed nearly as often. And when they leave them all over the floor, it's not quite as dangerous to your feet. So I'll put a link to these Wonder Clips in the description so you guys can find them too. You're gonna sew, well, you're gonna use a basting stitch to sew all the way around this, just to hold it together. If you're not new to sewing and this is not your first rodeo, you can totally skip the basting stitch, but I'm gonna do it. A basting stitch is just a long stitch length, which makes it easier to take out later if it shows. Okay, so we've basted our felt layer, our flannel layer onto our bib. And then you're gonna take your other piece and lay it pretty side down. So you have pretty side to pretty side, right sides together. Make that one lined up nice and neat. And clip it or pin it, whatever you like. So we're gonna sew this together just the same as we did the basting stitch, but this time we wanna leave a hole so we can turn it right side out. So when I want to leave a hole, I like to put 2 pins or clips on the spot where I'm going to stop sewing, because otherwise I might forget to stop sewing and I'll sew my hole closed, and that's about it. So I'm going to start here, go all the way around and stop here and back stitch. So this time I'm going to not use a long basting stitch, I'm going to use a regular stitch length, so between 2 and 3. I usually sit at 2.5, so I'll go do that. Okay, I'm done. So whenever you have inside curves like this, before you can turn it right side out, you need to clip all those little curves. Maybe every 1/2 inch or so. Because if you don't, then it will pull and look wonky when you try to turn it right side out. Some people do this on outside curves too, and sometimes I do that, but on this project I don't find it necessary. Okay, also because you might have too much bulk right here, you just want to trim this down. Not too close, but maybe 1/8 of an inch. So it's not so bulky and it will turn out nicely. So whenever you have a pattern that says trim corners and clip curves, that's what that means. So now you're going to reach inside in between your front and back. You're just going to turn it right side out. More Starbucks. And then I keep this handy chopstick from China. You can use this to poke out your corners. Don't poke too hard, be gentle or else it'll poke all the way through. I have had that happen plenty of times. You can use the bigger end to help you. There we go. Whoopsie. That's okay. I'll just put my snap there. I'll do that with these curves too. Okay. Remove my cutting board and get my iron. Okay, my iron is already hot. So now you're going to press it flat, and when you press it, you're going to turn this hole in as if you had sewn it. Press it nice and flat. I like to use some steam. It's already so cute. Okay, now we're gonna go top stitch it. Top stitching means you're gonna sew about 1/8 of an inch away around the whole bib. And while you do that, you'll be able to sew the hole closed too. No hand sewing, that's a win. Okay, here's my finished bib. No hole in the bottom. I top stitched all the way around. Pretty close to the edge, as you can see. It makes for a nice and neat look. Now it's time to add the closure. So if you're gonna use Velcro, you would just cut a small square like this. You would you would sew one on here. Just sew all the way around the edges, be sure and backstitch. And then one on the back. So it would close like this. But I have this really cool tool. This is the Babyville, ooh, it's creaky, it needs oiled. This is the Babyville Snap Setter. You can buy all different colors of snaps. Maybe you have one of these and you don't know how to use it. I'm about to show you. If you're gonna be making a lot of baby items, I think they were created for cloth diapers actually, people who make those. But I use them for all kinds of things. I use them when I make baby things, but I also use them when I make doll clothes because they last longer than Velcro on doll clothes. And I use them when I make the kids' costumes. So you're gonna have one of each of this piece and then two of this spiky pieces. So it comes with an awl. I'm gonna put a hole. I want one going this way and one going this way. So I'm gonna put a hole in the front. Let's see, where do I want it? I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna shove the spiky piece through. And on the back, I'm gonna put, this is called the female piece. This is the male piece, this is the female. I'm not making that up. Okay, so the bottom, this flat piece fits right on the bottom, the flat part of the snap setter. You just put it in there and you squeeze. You can see now it's there forever. Now the other piece I want to come through the back, so I'm gonna put a hole through the back. There's the hole I accidentally made with my chopstick. Whoops, this should cover it though. Put the spiky piece through, put the female piece on top, sit the flat part in the rubber piece, and squeeze. I love these fun colors that these come in, so cute. And then you can snap it. Now your baby bib is done. So I hope you let me know if you use this tutorial. I would so much love to see what you make. If you're gonna make some for baby gifts or baby sisters or baby brothers or your own babies. Cheers and happy sewing.